SpaghettiOs with Franks are gone, and I'm trying to bring them back. I tested 3 possible replacements to see if any of them could recreate the perfect combo of artificial and delicious. To make sure that this is a scientifically accurate attempt, we're going to be doing the exact same measurements for all 3 of these meats. We're going to be doing a half a cup of SpaghettiOs, a quarter cup of each of the sliced meats, and an 1/8 of a teaspoon of the brine from each as well, because I want to get the full flavor from each of these, and that means getting a little bit of the brine in there too. So let's start out by filling each one of our bowls with a little bit of SpaghettiOs. I don't think anybody cares about this product as much as you do. Maybe they don't, and maybe I am, maybe I have a problem, right? Maybe there's something wrong with me for wanting to bring this back so bad. But look, the world's crappy. I just want to eat a childhood snack that I loved and enjoy it. And SpaghettiOs won't bring it back, so I gotta do it myself. Beautiful SpaghettiOs. Who doesn't love a can of SpaghettiOs, huh? Who doesn't? We're doing a half a cup in each, so see if I can do this without making a huge mess. Or we'll just make a huge mess. That's pretty leveled off. Looking level, let's go. Marvelous. All right, our SpaghettiO bowls are filled. We'll also be cooking these in the microwave at the exact same amount of time for each one of them. Now, let's start with our chicken Vienna sausages. The last time we used Vienna sausages, they smelled like cat food, and one commenter recommended rinsing them off. That said, we're putting the brine in the SpaghettiOs, so we're not going to rinse them this time. But that Vienna sausage we used last time was also kind of low quality. It was very garbage. So what about this one? This one's not nearly as bad. It smells like chicken broth, not like cat food. So that's already an improvement. We need enough sausage to fill a quarter cup, so let's start slicing. We will also try to slice them all in about the same size. Someone also pointed out in the comments of the last video that Vienna sausages are not Franks, and they're not wrong. But I'm not really positive that the Franks inside of the original SpaghettiO and Franks were Franks either. There was something weird and strange about those sausages. Anybody who's ever tried to make their own SpaghettiOs and Franks knows what I'm talking about. There is our quarter cup. Boop. I'll get them all in there. And last but not least, we're going an 1/8 of a teaspoon of the brine. Splish. I'm going to go rinse these out because we don't want any cross-contamination here. Work surface is cleaned. Let's do our mini weenies next. I have never had this product before, and it was kind of expensive to get because it came all the way from Germany. Ooh, they smell very, very smoky. Fascinating. Let's get some sliced up. I'm really not sure why it is that Europeans have jarred hot dogs, jarred Franks. I think it's a pretty common thing over there. If you live over there, tell me, is it common to find Franks in jars? It is not common here in the States. In fact, I literally looked for a version in the United States so that I wouldn't have to pay shipping for an imported product, and I literally couldn't find anything. So it just doesn't exist in the States. That looks about right. Boop. And 1/8 of a teaspoon of the brine. Sploosh. Last but not least, our pickled Polish sausage. I had never heard of these before until I was looking for preserved meats to try this with and came across this. Apparently some people really love these, but it just seems like a weird product to me. So let's open her up. Ooh boy. Woo-wee, that smells like vinegar. That smells like vinegar and pickle. Oh, look at these. Now that is interesting. You might be saying, now why on earth would you pick a pickled meat? Of course that's not going to taste right. Now, I disagree. There is something to be said about using vinegar in pasta and pasta sauce. So adding a vinegar pickled sausage, maybe that's what the deal. Maybe that's what we need. We don't know until we try. Yeah, that looks good. Boop. And an 1/8 teaspoon of vinegar brine. Oh, God. To keep from having cross-contamination, we want a truly scientific test here. We've got 3 different forks to mix the 3 different bowls. We're going to put each one of them in for 1 minute in the microwave. So let's go ahead and heat these up and find out if one of these meat substitutes will be the God tier Frank. While my SpaghettiOs and Franks are cooking, let me introduce to you the Goldilocks metrics. We'll be testing each one of these for 2 specific metrics, and then combining them for a complete verdict. We will be testing them on texture, we will be testing them on taste, and then we will note our final verdicts. All right, y'all, we're ready to taste some SpaghettiOs and Franks, and I'm not excited about this. We'll see. I would love to find something that actually fits the profile of that perfectly correct but wrong artificial goodness of the original Franks. So I'm truly hopeful one of these will work out. Let's start with the chicken Vienna sausages. If you have not seen it, watch my last video where we used all trash ingredients to recreate SpaghettiOs and Franks, and it just didn't turn out right. But we also used Vienna sausages in that video, and the issue was that they were too mushy, and frankly, too garbage. We went too garbage with our attempt there. So these are a nicer Vienna sausage. So let's see if these hold up texturally and if they're a little bit better taste-wise. You gotta get some noodles, you gotta get a Frank. Let's give it a shot. On that first bite, this one is entirely too mushy. No, does not land right. Let's take another bite and rate it on the flavor. That one is too artificial. So the verdict here, bad. The chicken Vienna sausages do not replace the original SpaghettiOs and Franks. Very unfortunate. I was hoping the nicer version of these would work, but they don't. All right, next up, we have our mini weenies cocktail sausages from Germany. Give them a little bit of a stir. Let's take a bite. The texture is just right. Surprisingly enough, the texture on this has a little bit of a chew. It's not total mush. That said, it's also not so substantial that it's like a real full hot dog. It is pretty good. Let's try it again for taste. On the taste, it is too good. So the problem with this one is that it is very smoky. It's actually a very good meat product. It does not have that right kind of artificial flavor that I want out of a Frank. So unfortunately, this one is not right. Well, we're 2 down and 1 to go, and I'm really not feeling like we're gonna figure this out this time again, which is going to drive me insane, but it won't be a far drive because I'm pretty sure I'm already insane. Last but not least, let's give our pickled Polish sausage a try. Well, we all know that this one's probably not gonna work out, but maybe this will be something interesting. Let's take a bite. Ooh, no. Never, ever do this. That was horrible. Oh my God. Oh, that was nasty. If you've never had pickled sausage before, it tastes like if you took a Slim Jim and you put it in a jar of dill pickles and you let that sit for like a month and then you pulled the meat out. That's what the meat tastes like. And then when you add it to the SpaghettiOs, it makes the SpaghettiOs taste like vinegar, and not in a good way. Sometimes some vinegar's good, but that is way too much. It tastes like pickled SpaghettiOs. Bad. Don't ever do that. All right. That wraps up all 3 of these. So, well, shit. Again, we're thwarted. Not a single one of our meat substitutes fit. The closest one was the mini weenies, but even that wasn't quite right. They're too smoky. It's not the right flavor. Texture is good, flavor is off. I'm gonna lose it. I think what we're coming to discover is that the majesty of Franks is just something mere mortals will never be able to recreate. So you know what? Let's all write the SpaghettiO factory and tell them to bring back the effing Franks so I can quit doing this. Please bring back your SpaghettiOs and Franks! Are you gonna be okay? No, I'm really not. But thank you for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye, babies.